we can document what it's like, and it's me doing all the talking, and then I'm like, I stop and I just look at you. Talk about anything.
That's because it's like it's filming. It's different.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. As you can see from that little tidbit of an intro, it's a little grainy and a little dark. We were out at night and the only light we had was the awning light shining on them. Didn't want to bring out all the bright lights and stuff, and it was our last night hanging out and their kids were sleeping in the RV, so we really didn't want to go into the RV. So I'm going to do my best to lighten it up and still make it visible and enjoyable for you guys. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a simple little interview with brand new full-timers out of California. Super cool couple, Toluca and Luke, and their beautiful little girls, Ruby and Olive. They are super awesome family. We had a blast hanging out with them, and we're really hoping to hang out in Florida with them as well. So guys, thanks again. We've been getting a lot of positive feedbacks on these interviews, and I'm going to do my best to keep them going for you. And thanks again for the response and the positive comments on our last video, Real Talk from the Recliners. We're going to try to do that a little more as well as some update. Here we go. Sit back, relax, and listen to some full-timers, brand new full-timers in a Reflection fifth wheel. Guys, enjoy. All right, guys, so introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, and just tell us who you are and you got your Instagram handle, so tell us your Instagram handle.
Go ahead.
Right. I'm Toluca Rivers. It's my husband.
Luke.
And we are Rivers on the Road. It's Rivers_on the road.
Awesome. And we met you guys, was it last week already or earlier this week?
Days ago. Who knows?
Right?
Yeah, probably 4 days ago.
4 days ago, we were at the other KOA and hooked up. You guys saw our sticker?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we were walking the dogs, walking the kids, and we saw the sticker on the back of the rig, and I messaged you guys, I commented, and then we hooked up that way.
Yep. And we've been hanging out pretty much ever since, and now we're at a different KOA in Indianapolis somewhere.
We didn't have plans. We didn't know where we were going to go, and then we found out that they were coming here, and so we decided to book the same spot.
Yep. Guys, these are new full-timers out of, not Southern California. Was it Southern?
Yeah,
Los
Los
Angeles.
Angeles.
Yeah, I guess it would be Southern California
Yeah.
still. It was kind of nice to hook up with another younger couple and talk about full timing. So we're going to ask them a few questions. And if you've seen our videos with the Campaholics and stuff like that, so you know the questions I'm going to ask. So stay tuned. Here we go. Starting off with the first question, and everyone out there in YouTube world, you're going to love this one. How long have you guys been full-timing?
2 months as of 2 days ago.
2 months?
I'd say the 3rd.
Today's the 3rd.
We
Yeah.
left LA August 1st.
August
We're
1st.
newbies.
Yeah, holy cow. You started RVing in LA. Did you get this Reflection in LA?
We bought it from a man in Georgia.
Okay.
Sight unseen, by the way.
Yeah.
We sent an inspector over there. She really liked. We
This
have a
floor
Grand
plan.
Design 367 BHS, and it has a mid bunk. So she liked the mid bunk because the kids wouldn't be all the way on the other side.
Yep.
Yeah. We have little
There were
ones.
3 of them available in the country. The one nearest to us, we sent an inspector there. It had like holes in the roof. It was terrible.
Water damage.
Then this guy had one. We sent the inspector there, and he's like, "Well, I wasn't able to test some of the systems, but sight,
Yeah, he
it's
was
pretty
like,
well
"There's-
put together."
There's no hookups, so we can't actually turn anything on or push slides out. So I'm like, okay, we'll inspect that side of the rig. That's what we did.
And we bought it, and we hired a Cuban from Florida who drove
A Cuban from Florida. That's not typical.
who drove it across the country for 5 days.
Yeah. And then when he left, when he unhitched, he drove off with
yeah. He drove off with the brake pin.
Oh no!
And so, yeah, he drove off with the brake pin, and I didn't know. So the first time I tried to drive it to the DMV, the locks on the brakes were activating and I couldn't drag it down. And
We're like dragging it down the street.
I had to
like,
stop, pull over to the side of the
this.
street, spend like 6 hours trying to figure out what had happened.
Yeah.
And he had just left and yanked the pin out, and that was it. I had to buy another one.
So 2 months and you already have full-time stories.
A lot of them.
Yeah, so let's go with question number 2. What made you go full-time? Or what prompted it? What was the decision like? What was...
Okay, so it started last year in September. A family friend of ours died kind of young. He had a heart attack, and he was in his late 50s, early 60s. And this was like already smack dab in COVID. Everything was going crazy, and
we were tired of being locked down by then.
We were stuck in the house for so long, and then this guy who was a really awesome guy, he passed away. And it made us think, like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Like, it's finite. So we rented, we spent way too much money renting a motorhome.
We rented a Class C,
and
right?
the plan was to visit my parents who live in Tennessee. So we drove 12 days straight to Tennessee and back.
And we went like this. So we hit up all the southern states, all the way down to Louisiana, and then we went up into Tennessee, and then when we came back, we went across Missouri,
across the middle,
Colorado,
Kansas.
Utah, and we saw a bunch of stuff, and we did a bunch of stuff.
But it was
like,
12
didn't sleep
days
for
of
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for your first time.
Yeah.
But the girls did so well. They were 4 and 2 when we did that trip. They did so well, and they loved it. And so as soon as we got back, we weren't fully committed to the idea.
She was like, she wanted to buy one right away, and I was like, not happening.
Honestly, when we got home, it was the first time in my life where I got home and I wasn't like, oh, I'm home, you know, like when you touch down at LAX and you see the skyline, you're like, and I'm like, okay, I'm home. It was the first time I was like, I hate this place. And I was depressed.
That's kind of a, wow. That's kind of a good thing. That's a good reference, because I think when we started on the road, we came back and we're like, oh, we're home. Let's get the mail. Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, just turn around.
And it was just that's funny you said that. I haven't had anybody talk like that other than we've had our experience mention that feeling. So
yeah, so we got home, and still for a few months we're kicking around, and then I think it was around December.
For a few months we were like, okay, we want to move. Because having seen all the other states and how they were normal still, and totally different from California and LA, we were like, wait a minute. And so we're like, let's get out of here, let's move. So then, in December we flew to Texas.
We were gonna maybe move to Austin, but we flew to Austin. We had a week with the kids, and the grandparents came. It was just hard because we were like neighborhood searching. The kids were so bored from just looking at houses day after day.
Yeah.
So they had a horrible time. It was really expensive.
And once we got there, we realized that it was all Californians moving there.
So
we were like,
we
can't do this without like just picking a spot on the map and then saying, let's go fly there and pick something.
Yeah, and then take another week off of work and everything. So a few months later, I came up with the idea of like, you know, I think she had probably planted the seed quite a bit. But I was like, you know what, let's do this, and I can travel around the country and train jiu-jitsu, and what do you think? And then we bought an RV like a month later.
That's
and a
awesome.
truck a month after that.
A truck a month after that. Oh my God, yeah. I know the coolness of this next question. Tell us what model, what year your rig is, and I know you guys have done special stuff to your rig, so talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so it's a 2018 Grand Design Reflection 367 VHS. So it's the one that has the two things that I was looking for specifically. The rear living, so we've got like the wraparound windows. We can see the view from our rear window change whenever we have a new campground. I love that. Lots of light comes in, and it feels really open and spacious. And then the other thing we needed was the mid bunk, because we didn't want the kids in a bunkhouse on the other end, because
they're 5 and 3, so
yeah, they're little ones. So A, that was like far away from us, and B, those models all had like the living room in the middle of the rig, and we didn't have the wraparound window effect. So that's how I decided on this rig. And then when we got it, it was of course full of brown cabinets and like yellowish tan walls. And
All right, so let's just pass that part because that's a sensitive subject about our YouTube channel. So just
We
kidding.
got white walls now.
We have white walls now, so all right.
We're gonna get rid of some more brown.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Okay, for us personally, we didn't want that. And the big bulky leather couches and all that. So we ended up repainting everything. We went with the white walls, but we went with like teal cabinets, and we ripped out all of the furniture and put in really lightweight furniture that the kids can destroy, no problem. IKEA stuff,
But
you know.
really thick countertop.
But we put in thick wooden butcher block countertops, and we're underweight, so don't worry. But we
Good call, because you can hear the comments down below. Oh, that butcher blocked so much weight.
Well, we did a bunch of stuff. We ripped out the TV. We took out all
we
the
are
heavy
a
furniture.
screens-free family.
Well, the kids are a screen-free
Oh
family.
yeah, we
Yeah.
don't count. Yeah. Yeah. So in our rig, in our model, it was we have the island, and then we had across from it the cooktop, stovetop, and then a teeny bit of pantry, and then there was a divider wall, and then there was like the media entertainment center with the TV on the wall and like the Bluetooth stereo above it. And we took the TV down. We knew we didn't want the kids on screens. And I knocked on the wall and I could hear that it was hollow. So I gutted it. And then we got this Sawzall, right? And we did a
Yeah.
really crappy job, like getting rid of the wall.
Divider
It's all jagged currently. It's
can't
okay.
tell.
No, you can't tell.
I'll edit that part out.
And then we ripped out. We also did it in the
And then
bathroom.
we
ripped out
extended
the
it.
thing in the bathroom too.
Yeah, but so we took down that wall and we extended our countertop. So now our countertop is the entire length of the slide.
Yep.
And in the bathroom,
We ripped out the thing in the bathroom, changed the sink out, and have like a
Vanity.
much smaller. Yeah, vanity.
vanity, I
Okay.
think it's called.
So that it takes up a lot less room.
Yeah.
In the bedroom, we didn't touch.
We did all the slide trim
In the bedroom or what do you mean?
everywhere.
Okay.
New slide
Oh,
trim
yeah.
everywhere.
All right, so we know the interior looks good. Obviously, you've just spawned a million ideas from all our viewers. They're going to be like, "Oh my god, I love it." So, let's talk about I know you're only 2 months deep. But let's do a pros and cons. Luke, give me your first pro, the first thing that comes to mind about RVing being full-time. Give me a quick pro that you like.
I'd say less stress. I talked about this the other day. I had somebody text me the other day and they said, how's the RV thing going? And then great, how are you? And they said, we're okay. Really busy, but okay. And I was thinking, man, I don't feel that way at all. Like, I'm not really busy. And I'm not just okay, I'm doing awesome. So
Yeah.
I'd say the pros are, for me, there's a lot of them, but realizing that there's so many obligations that are in my life from living in one place that some of them are fun obligations. It's like kids' birthday parties and events in your life, but they're still
Dinners.
obligations. There are things you have to prepare for. There are things you have to schedule, plan out, etc. If you're behind, you start to get stressed out about something that's supposed to be fun. So you take all of that out, and there's just this like overwhelming. There's no pressure at all.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like
Free.
yeah, whatever you're gonna do, you're gonna do, and whenever you're gonna go there, you're gonna go there, and it doesn't matter. So that's great.
That's
That's
cool.
a big pro.
All right, Toluca, give us a pro that you like.
A pro for me is that I get to live like a gypsy, live nomadically. I've always wanted to live this way.
You
and
have lived this way.
Yeah.
We've moved like 15,000 times.
Yeah. So we've been together 10 years and we've lived in 7 locations.
Oh my
All
god.
within LA because I'm 4 generations Los Angeles. So, but I love to move and keep things fresh and exciting that way. And the other thing is the experiences that we're giving our girls. So before we had them in school, we had to get to school by 9 and, you know, stress about that. And then they'd come home, and then we had maybe a couple of hours where I was sort of paying attention, but also cleaning the house and cooking dinner and that kind of thing. And now we are giving them these experiences that no other kids are getting. And in fact, we met with a friend of mine here in Indianapolis. She's an educator, and she says, just speaking with Olive, my 5-year-old, she's like, I can tell that she's been off a screen for 2 months because she's not telling her about, you know, episodes and TV and characters and things like that. She's actually talking about like animals she's seen and what she's learned about geysers in Yellowstone and things like that. So that means a lot to me, that I'm giving her meaningful experiences.
Real
that
world education, man. That's awesome. So that's cool.
And not that screens aren't great for families, but with our kids, mainly our older one, they were not good for her brain. She's not nice.
She would get like real addictive. If you took it all away, she'd get really mean for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
So that's big for us.
That's cool. All right. Give us a con. Give me something that you're kind of like, oh, didn't expect this, or something that, and obviously, you know, and I don't mean this as a slam, and there's more experience to come and things are going to happen, but give us a con so far that you see that's kind of like,
I mean, well, there's the really superficial one of things break all the time.
Yep.
All the time. Things break. And so my repairs are getting like 5 deep. And I'll start to fix one thing and I get it going, and then there's another problem. So that's always a con. But it's not, it hasn't been end of the world yet. Like, it's just been like, okay, this is annoying, or like the fridge didn't work again, and we went through another load of groceries that all spoiled before we finally got that fixed.
Been there, done that. That's for sure.
That I'd say is a con. That you don't normally have at your house.
Toluca, what do you got? What do you think?
For me, the only thing I miss is being able to go out to dinner with friends or family.
Yep.
Friday and Saturday nights, get all dressed up, makeup, just us, get a babysitter, and feel like grown-ups with our friends and family. And it's kind of hard to make friends on the road because we're not at a place for very long, which is our personal preference. But I guess I just miss that, like, adult interaction. We're with the kids all day.
Yeah, and we can totally agree with that. And it's funny because that's been, with the Campaholics that we sat down and interviewed, that was the thing. You know, they have adult kids and they live close. So it was like, you know, calling them over for dinner. And that's been kind of common through the whole thing. Even, you know, same thing with Renee, having our friends that we've had for, you know, we lived in one spot for 13 and a half years. So it was kind of that same feeling.
I would say you play these different roles, right? There's the role as like a husband, and the role of a father, and then the role that you have to yourself, who you are to yourself. And that role as a father, you don't get to turn it off anymore. It's kind of like, okay, and they're asleep, and now we can go do something else, or we have we're still in the same very small area.
Yep.
So that, I think, has been
And we don't have like the connections to be like, call the babysitter so we can leave this area.
Yeah, no. So that's a con, but you know, there's
Worth it.
Yeah, trade-offs must be made.
That's very true. You know, Renee's got to deal with the trade-off. She can't send me to my room or kick me out of the house when she's mad at me. I can only go 6 feet that way, and she still has to see me.
Yeah.
All right, so let's touch very briefly, and this is a common question that even the podcasts we've done and everything else. Kind of a quick overview briefing of what you do. I know you have something real cool that we can promote and talk about. So let's go ahead, Luke. Let's hit us up. What do you?
Okay, so I'm a branding consultant, which is a fancy word for I get swag made for companies. I don't make any of it myself. I have a bunch of manufacturing contacts around the world that make all of the promotional products that people use, companies use for giveaways, new hire kits, holiday gifts. That's pretty relevant right now. But all the branded stuff. So I can do it from anywhere. I have clients all over the country, and I'm not tied to any specific location or time zone. And I don't have a sales territory either. I can work with anyone.
So ultimately, you traveling, you can make new business contacts on the fly if you need to.
Yeah, you would think so, but everybody does everything online with emails and Zoom and everything.
That's cool.
So no, there's not really a reason to pop into a corporate office and ask for a meeting with so-and-so.
Oh, okay.
It's all running constantly.
Oh, thank God you don't have to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a
with
pro.
The beard and the sandals, it would be kind of weird.
Yeah, right? All right. I'm not going to pan down to show the sandals.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I do.
That's cool. Yeah, when you do it remotely. And Toluca, tell us what you do. Is it in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a former teacher. I have a K through 5 elementary ed credential, and I simultaneously built a curriculum design business, and I quit teaching 4 years ago now to run the curriculum design business where I train teachers and I provide them with support and lessons and community. And then when we were transitioning to RV life, I figured I'm going to make an RV life planner, sort of like a workbook, because this is kind of what I do for teachers too. I create lesson planners and things like that. And I created pages to help me move through the 5 phases of transitioning to full-time RV living. So the first phase was like dream.
5 phases?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm so organized.
How many phases? Yeah, I was going to say, I think we skipped all 5.
And now I'm not going to remember them. Shoot.
That's okay.
So, like, the first one's dream, where you're thinking about, well, what kind of camping do I envision myself doing? Do I envision having, like, a 5th wheel? Do I envision being in the middle of nowhere, boondocking? Like, all of those sorts of things where you're just kind of dreaming about the lifestyle and how it's going to look different. And then from there, you start moving into the planning phase. Like, okay, now I'm going to need a truck. Well, let's talk about, like, the weight of the pin weight and all that stuff. So with all these like planning pages and then prep pages and organization tools, basically like a toolkit, and then the whole built-in journal is the 5th phase. Like, now you're on the road, here's your reflection, journal it, and yeah, remember it basically. It's just a neat kind of workbook / planner. I use it on my iPad because I'm a digital kind of person, and so I imported it into GoodNotes, and I use my Apple Pencil, and I use it every day.
Time we pack up,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
I have a checklist of everything that needs to be done so that we're slides in within 20 minutes and on the road.
All right, so anything else that you would like to add as a freestyle? First of all, I know Luke and I can't start a fire, but we have that in common,
I've
and
got 2 of them.
and we both.
Humid, okay?
2 of them so far.
All right, and we also have in common we both train jiu-jitsu, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'd say this will definitely test you, like in ways that if you're not like the handiest person or the craftiest person, you will be tested. But it's a good thing. It's definitely nobody ever hurt. No, maybe they hurt their fingers or whatever. But nobody ever hurt
Oh my God, I hurt
their
my finger
character.
on day 4.
Yeah, she broke her finger.
I broke my
No.
finger on day 4 of full-time RV living.
She had her hand under the jack for the lift.
Oh.
She just pulled the pin.
And we were on a
it
concrete
just
slab,
bang!
and it
Oh.
right on the concrete.
But
And it was like nighttime. We
Yeah.
were hitching the night before.
she was crying. Yeah.
Oh.
My point is, like, it's good for your character to develop these skills. And if you can live with less, realize you can live with less.
You
then,
can.
Then there's nothing you can't do. Like there's nothing you can't live without.
Correct.
Like,
Agreed. 100%.
If you know, if I lost my job and if her industry went to shit,
It's okay.
went to shit, then we'd be okay. Like as long as you have a place to stay, food, water, etc.
You figure it out.
Like you'll be fine. You really don't need that much stuff.
You just need to be adaptable and open
Good.
to change and open to growth.
Very cool.
Right?
And not get too mad when you break the window, leaving Yogi Bear jellies.
Wisconsin gals.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Awesome, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys, and make sure you check out their Instagram and tell us the Instagram one more time.
Rivers_on-the-road.
Rivers_on-the-road. Make sure you guys go bombard their page and say you saw them here. Thanks again. We appreciate it. It's been awesome hanging out with you guys, and we'll see y'all on the road.